Good day, everyone, and welcome to our presentation. First of all, let me thank you all, especially our trainees, for joining us today. So, let me start by introducing our CBLM topic. So, our sector is health, social, and other community development services, photography, and C2, and our module title is Participating in Workplace Communication. Next po. Yan. So, starting our module content, unit of competency is participate in workplace communication. Module descriptor. This module covers the knowledge, skills, and attitudes required to obtain, interpret, and convey information in response to workplace requirements. Summary of learning outcomes. So, upon completion of this module, the students or trainees must be able to obtain and convey workplace information. Next po. Learning outcomes 1, obtain and convey workplace information. The assessment criteria is specific relevant information is accessed from appropriate sources. Effective questioning, active listening, and speaking skills are used to gather and convey information. Appropriate medium is used to transfer information and ideas. Appropriate nonverbal communication is used. Appropriate lines of communication with superiors and colleges are identified and followed. Define workplace procedures for the location and storage of information are used. And last is personal interaction is carried out clearly and concisely. Our contents is part of speech, sentence construction, and effective communication. Next po. Next. Conditions. The students or trainees must be provided with the following writing materials, pen and paper, reference, or books, and manuals. Next. Methodologies: group discussion, interaction, lecture, reportorial, and assessment methods is written test, practical, performance test, and interview. Next po. Next. Learning experience. Special instructions. Read the information sheet and answer the self-check at the end of the learning activity. There are learning activities that require you to perform certain tasks and jobs that you have to perform and check your performance based on the performance criteria set. Specific relevant information is accessed from appropriate sources. Effective questioning, active listening, and speaking skills are used to gather and convey information. Appropriate medium is used to transfer information and ideas. Appropriate nonverbal communication is used. Appropriate lines of communication with superiors and colleges are identified and followed. Define workplace procedures for the location and storage of information are used, and personal interaction is carried out clearly. Appropriate lines of communication with superiors and colleges are identified and followed. Define workplace procedures for the location and the storage of information are used. Personal interaction is carried out clearly and concisely. So for information sheet number 1, may I call Miss Legaspi to proceed our presentation.
Thank you, Miss MJ Aguilar. So, proceed to information sheet 1.1, obtain and convey workplace information, part of speech. Learning objectives. After reading the information sheets, you must be able to 1. Determine the parts of speech. 2. Identify the 8 parts of speech. 3. Learn and apply each part of the speech is constructing a sentence. So, this is the part of the speech. Any language hundreds of words, yet not every word serves the same purpose. Certain words, for instance, convey action. Different terms convey a thing. Some terms serve to join two words together. The building blocks of the language are these. Consider them as the components of house. Concrete is used to create the base of foundation. While building a house, to construct the walls, we utilize bricks. To create windows and doorways, we use window and door frames, respectively, and to bind them all together, we use cement. Every room in the house has purpose. In order to construct a sentence, we employ many word kinds. Every kind of word has a certain function. Okay. So this is the what parts of the speech. Parts of the speech are the basic types of words that English has. Most grammar books say that there are 8 parts of speech: noun, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, pronouns, conjunctions, proposition, and interjections. Okay, wait lang. The noun. A noun is a term that designates an individual, creature, location, object, or abstract concept. Typically, nouns are the first word that young toddlers learn. The highlighted words in the following sentence are all nouns. The inspector for the bus examined each passenger pass. The verb. A verb is a term that characterizes a state, being something or an action doing something. Next slide po. The pronoun. A pronoun can take the place of another pronoun or a noun. Pronouns such as he, which, none, and you are used to break up long repeated statements. So, ito po yung example ng the pronoun is he, which, none, and you. So, in the following sentence, each of the highlight words is subjective personal pronoun and acts as the subject of the sentence. Example, I was glad to find the bus passing the bottom of the green knapsack. After many years, they returned to their homeland. This is the adjective. An adjective is a word that describes, identifies, or quantifies a noun or pronoun. Typically, an adjective comes before the noun or pronoun that it modifies. The following examples, so ito yung mga examples. The back room was filled with large yellow rainbows. The small boat foundered of the wine dark sea. Many stars have already begun to play with tasting Christmas music. So, this is the adverb. Sa adverb po tayo. Yan. Adverbs have the ability to change verbs, adjectives, other adverbs, phrases, and closest adverbs provide answers to queries like how, when, and how much, as well as indicating manner, time, place, cause, or degree. So, yun yung example ng adverb. So the majority of adverb must be identified by sorting through the grammatical relationships within the sentence or clauses as a whole. However, some can be distinguished excuse me, by their distinctive high suffix. An adverb as contrast to an adjective can appear in several places in the sentence. So the following example, each of the highlight words is an adverb. Ito yung mga example ng adverb. Ito yung example sentence. So, the seamstress quickly made the morning clothes. The boldly spoken word will return to hunt the rebels. And the conjunction. A conjunction can be used to connect words, phrases, and clauses as shown in the examples. So, ito yung examples ng conjunction. Example, I ate the cake and the ice cream. Call the movers when you are ready. The preposition. The preposition serve as connecting elements in sentence by attaching nouns, pronouns, and phrases. The object of the preposition is the word, the phrase that the preposition introduces. Also, a preposition usually indicate the temporal, spatial, or logical relationships or its object to the rest of the sentence as in the following example. So, ito yung example ng preposition. The book is on the table. The book is beneath the table. The book is beside the table. The book is leaning against the table. So, dito tayo sa the interjections. A word added to a phrase to express emotion is called an interjection. It has nothing to do with any other component of the sentence in terms of grammar. Usually follow the injection with an exclamation mark. Interjections are uncommon in formal academic prose, except in direct quotations. The highlighted words in the following sentence are interjections. This the example. Hey, put that down. I heard one guy say to another guy, he has a new car. Eh. Next slide po.
So, yung mga naka-highlight dyan na mga words is sila yung 8 parts of speech. Like, yung inspector na naka-highlights and passenger pa, sila yung tinatawag natin na nouns. Ganun din yun sa other parts of speech na mga naka-highlighted words. Next presenter is Miss Rodil.
So, good evening, everyone. So, let's proceed to information sheet 1.1 to 2. Sentence construction. Our learning objectives. After reading this information sheet, the student or trainee should be able to differentiate what is a sentence, determine the parts of a sentence, identify what is a subject and a predicate, determine what a sentence fragment is, identify what a run-on sentence is, familiarize what the subject-verb agreement are, and write complete grammatically correct correct sentences. So, what is a sentence? Anyone who can read what is a sentence? Yes, Miss Aguilar.
A sentence is a collection of words that express a full idea and has a verb and a subject. A sentence always begins with a capital letter and ends with a mark of punctuation. In order to express a complete thought, every sentence must have two parts, the subject and the predicate.
Thank you. So, sabi yung sentence daw ay nagko-contain ng two parts which is the subject and the predicate. Subject is the portion of a sentence that is being discussed is called the subject. The subject in the subsequent sentences are bolded. Next slide. So number one example is the enthusiastic quarterback called out cues. So yung paangat nga ulit be. So yung subject natin dito sa number one is yung quarterback. Then number two, Rosa reminded me of the activity tonight. So si Rosa yung subject natin dito sa number two. So next slide po. Letter B is the predicate. A sentence predicate is the portion that makes a statement about the topic. So, kung kanina subject, ngayon naman yung predicate. Parang ito yung magsasabi kung ano yung ginagawa ng subject. So, pwede pakibasa po ng examples. Anyone? Yes, Miss Aguilar.
Number one, Mr. Justin took a later train than usual. Number two, the rose bloomed early this year. Number three, summer vacation is always too short.
Yun. So, thank you. So, ayun. To summarize the subject and the predicate, yung subject is yung pinaka main character natin. Then yung predicate, siya yung tumutukoy kung ano yung ambag o kung ano yung ginagawa ng ating subject. So, who can give an example? Give a sentence and identify what is the subject and a predicate. Anyone? Anyone trainees? Kung may naintindihan po. Any other hands? Si Miss Legaspi lang. Ay, si Miss Aguilar lang po ba? Okay, Miss Miss Aguilar, sige po. Magbigay po kayo example.
So, my example is a boy is looking to hide himself during the rain. So, yung subject doon is yung boy and yung predicate doon is yung looking to hide himself during the rain. Ayun po.
Yan, very good, Miss Aguilar. Anyone, sino pa po makakapagbigay ng example and identify po what is the subject and the predicate? Yes, Miss Halfon.
The laptop is placed on the table for charging. Yung subject niya is the laptop and yung predicate niya is placed on the table for charging.
Very good. Another one, Mr. Gaspi.
The milk is very healthy for the body.
So, ano po yung ano doon, yung subject and predicate, Miss Legaspi? Sige po, pa-help po siya, Miss Halfon.
Yung healthy body.
Yes, Miss Halfon?
Yung subject niya is the milk and yung predicate niya is very good for a healthy body.
Very good. So, tama naman kayong lahat. Next is sent sentence fragments. So, com- a sentence that is not complete and that's not grammatically correct is called a fragment. So, sabi dito yung fragments daw ay sentence siya pero hindi siya grammatically correct. So, hindi lang 'to sa English nangyayari, kahit sa Tagalog. Ang best example ko dito is sa Tagalog na lang para mas madali natin mag-gets. Usually ginagamit kasi 'to sa mga ano lang, sa mga hindi formal na usapan. Like for example, nagkamustahan kayo ng kaibigan mo. Then, sabi sa'yo ng kaibigan mo, "Hoy Legaspi, kamusta ka?" Then, casual talking lang kayo. Ang sasabihin naman ni Miss Legaspi is, "Ayos lang." So, it sounds correct but it's not. No, ang kulang doon is yung subject. Sa sagot ni Miss Legaspi, kung intindihin natin siya, ang pinakasagot niya lang is ayos lang. So, magkakaroon ng question, sino yung ayos lang? So, kailangan pa nilang bumalik dun sa question para lang malaman kung sino yung subject. So, ang dapat na tama nating isagot is ayos lang ako. So, ang subject natin is ako, which is si Miss Legaspi. So, another example is, so yung first na example natin is yung wala yung subject. So, second example natin is my favorite singer. So, sino yung favorite singer mo? I mean, what did this singer do or say to her or him para maging favorite niya? So, my next example is it lacks a verb or has the incorrect verb form. So, yun. So, yung tatandaan natin ha, yung sentence fragments, mukha siyang buong sentence pero ang totoo, hindi siya kumpletong sentence. Grammatically, incorrect siya. So, yun ang other term ng grammatical error, which is the sentence fragments. So, run-on sentences. A sentence that actually contains two or more entire sentence without the necessary punctuation to break them up is called a run-on sentence. So, very usual tong run-on sentences sa atin, lalo na sa social media, di ba? Meron pang meme na sinasabi na, naguguluhan na kami sa iyo kung saan ka naglalagay ng kuwit, ng ganyan, ng kama, di ba? Yung iba naman wala nang kama-kama, tuloy-tuloy yung chat, kala mo naman nagrarap. Tapos, ito ang number one example is the comma splice. Mike is a musician. He plays the guitar for a living. So, yan yung incorrect example natin. The comma in the previous sentence is used wrongly. Splicing yung tawag doon. Two entire sentences into one run-on statement. In order to fix these run-ons, the comma should be changed to a period. So, instead na comma, dapat gagawin natin siyang period. So, hindi dapat siya magiging tuloy-tuloy. Medyo may stop siya dun sa Mike is a musician, then stop. Tapos, he plays the guitar for a living. Yan. So, next slide, please. So, another one is lack of punctuation. So, ito yung dalawang incorrect example. So, ayan. There is a problem with the television. However, no one is able to fix it. So, kung mapapansin nyo, wala siyang wala naman tong mga punctuation. Ito yung sinasabi ko na, excuse me, na kapag binabasa mo siya para kang nagrarap kasi wala man lang punctuation, di mo alam kung saan kayo hinto, kung saan ka babagal. Kaya minsan merong mga sentence na namamali ng intindi, nami-misinterpret natin. Like for example, merong tao na ang name niya is Kaka, si Kaka, o yan, Kaka. Tapos merong isang lalaki na nag-chat sa kanya, "Kaka, manok mo yan." So, ang puwedeng maging dalawa yung meaning niya. Puwedeng, "Kaka, yung manok mo yan." Parang sinasabi niya na, "Ikaw si Kaka, sa'yong manok 'to." Or yung isa namang meaning na puwede niyang ma-come up sa isip niya is, "Kakamanok mo yan." Parang dahil yan sa palagi mong pagkain ng manok, parang gano'n, 'di ba? So, kailangan kumpleto lagi tayo sa punctuations. So, the correct example is, "There is a problem with the television. However, no one is able to fix it." So, meron na siyang mga ano, mga punctuation. So, alam mo na kung saan kayo hihinto, alam mo na kung ano yung meaning ng sinasabi niya. So may I call on Ma'am Halfon to continue the discussion.
Thank you so much, Miss Carissa. So let's proceed to the effective communication. Effective communication. Learning objective. First is explain the importance of communication. Second is identify the various elements of communication. Third is determine the modes of communication. Fourth is differ- differentiate the various methods, skills of communication. Fifth is identify the three main modes of communication. And sixth is determine the barrier of communication. Seven is identify the benefits of effective communication. So, ang communication, guys, ay ginagamit natin siya palagi sa pang-araw-araw. Dito, natututunan natin kung paano tayo makikinig at magiging effective listener sa taong nakakaharap natin. Or kung paano tayo magko-communicate sa kanila para maintindihan natin sila. And basic element of communication, the process of communication is composed of three elements. First is the source. The example here is sender, speaker, transmitter, or instructor. Dito sa the source, ito yung mga kagaya ng mga teacher na kayang magpa-adapt ng mga knowledge sa mga estudyante nila. And second is the symbol used in composing and transmitting the message. Ang example nito ay words or sight. Ito yung mga ginagamit natin ng mga makabuluhan na salita, kagaya na lamang ng pagmamahal. Pag sinasabi natin yung salitang mahal kita sa tao, parang ang pumapasok sa atin is gusto natin yung tao. Yan. And then dito tayo sa may third part is the receiver. Ang example dito ay listener, reader, or student. Yung mga receiver ay yung kagaya nating mga student na willing na matuto and willing mag-adapt ng knowledge dun sa mga educators. And the three elements are dynamically interest interrelated since each element is dependent on the other for effective communication to take place. Effective communication help workers to first is the job involves completing tasks, following instruction, learning correct procedures, resolving problems working as a team, and adhering the occupational health and safety procedure. Okay, who wants to read verbal communication? Anyone can read verbal communication? Okay, Miss Aguilar.
Verbal communication. Verbal communication is industries is crucial for effective communication, requiring active engagement from both speakers and listeners. Speakers and should be clear, concise, courteous, and use appropriate language for the situation and audience. Accurate information and tone of voice are also important. Listening skills are crucial for receiving instruction or learning new procedures, requiring full attention, clear understanding of the message, and effective body language.
Thank you, Miss Aguilar. Verbal communication, ito yung mga usually na ginagawa natin. Yung pakikipag-usap natin sa mga taong nakakaharap natin. Kung paano tayo makikipag-communicate sa kanila. Na alam natin na maiintindihan nila tayo and may makukuha sila sa atin. Okay, next is, pa-scroll ako, Miss Kimberly. Okay, ayan. Number 1, close question. Data collection methods are used to gather specific information, often yielding a yes or no response or a limited response. For example, have you driven a four-wheel have you drive a four-wheel drive tractor before? And second is open question, encourage open discussions and information sharing, often starting with how, where, when, which, who, why, or what. For example, is what type of tractors have you drive? And third is reflective communication, a reflective question. Mirror questions, also known as attentive listening, demonstrate active listening and aid in promoting clear expression of opinions. Example, so, you drink, ano nga, yan, thank you. So, you drive this type of tractor before? You found this type of tractor to run You found this type of tractor to run reliably, haven't you? Okay, next is effective communication. May I call Miss Rudil to read effective communication?
Effective communication. Effective communication skills, including speaking, listening, and questioning, are crucial for accurate information transmission in telephone or two-way relationship. There are a number of barriers that reduce the effectiveness of verbal communication. These include inappropriate choice of lifestyle, inappropriate body language, disruptions, noise in the proximity, and or poor signal, relevance of the topic to the listener, assumptions made by both her.
Thank you, Miss Rodil. Effective communication, kailangan hindi lang basta-basta na ikaw palagi yung magbibigay ng information sa tao. Especially, kailangan din marunong ka rin magtanong para mas makita mo na naintindihan nila yung mga bagay na sinasabi mo. Kagaya na lamang ng pagtatanong sa kanila na inuulit yung sinabi mo. Ayan. Nonverbal communication. Pakitaas po. Yan. Who wants to read nonverbal communication? Can you please read it, Miss Aguilar?
Ako ba?
Yes, Miss Aguilar.
Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal body language, including postures, facial expressions, and eye contact, plays a crucial role in face to face communication as it can sometimes convey conflicting message. Observation skills are essential for understanding communication and cues. as they help to discern people's attitudes and behaviors. Personal presentation, dress, and hygiene also contribute to the impression a person makes when they are communicating.
Thank you, Miss Aguilar. Dito sa nonverbal communication, dito dapat ginagamit 'to yung mga ganitong figure or posture ng ano natin, ng face natin. Ras, puwede pahingahan naman ako niyan. Ras, pahingahan ako niyan, nagre-report kami. Nonverbal communication. Dito natin nonverbal communication, ginagamit ito when it comes to applying a job. Kailangan nakikita nila yung posture or yung figure na pinapakita mo sa kanila is kaya mo talagang makipag-communicate sa kanila. Especially 'pag nagkakaroon tayo ng final interview sa isang trabaho or initial interview, you need to eye contact with the person that will speak to you. And also, um, we need to body language, dapat hindi ka malikot masyado and dapat yung 'di ba nakikita niyo yung iba may mannerism sila na kapag nakikipag-usap sila, yung paa nila galaw ng galaw, yung kamay nila, yung fingers nila nginangat-ngat nila, yung mga gano'n. Yung daliri nila nginangat-ngat nila, yun. And sa nonverbal dapat hindi natin gamitin yun or mapakita yun kasi kapag napapakita natin yun parang hindi tayo okey na nakikipag-communicate tayo sa ibang tao, 'yan. Dito naman tayo sa basic communication skills. Um, the four basic methods of communication in everyday life are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Sa araw-araw na pamumuhay natin, lagi nating ginagamit 'tong mga bagay na 'to, yung pakikinig, pagsasalita, pagbabasa, at pagsusulat. Siguro naman sa isang araw hindi nabubuo yung araw niyo hangga't hindi niyo nagagawa yung mga bagay na 'to. Kasi ikaw ba, tao ka, kaya mo bang pigilan magsalita para maintindihan ka ng ibang tao? 'Di ba hindi? And kaya mo bang hindi magsulat sa loob ng isang araw? Kaya mo bang hindi magbasa sa loob ng isang araw? Lalo na ngayon na active tayo in social media. Lagi tayong nagbabasa, lagi may makita lang tayo, puwede na tayong mag-comments, magbigay ng mga puwede nating maibigay na comments sa mga tao, 'di ba? And kaya rin natin magbasa ng mga bagay kagaya na lamang ng libro, newspaper, yung mga gano'n. Next is effective listening and speaking. In today's involving words, listening and speaking play crucial roles as they establish the first contact between ourselves and others. Listening and hearing different in purpose, with listening involving brain reaction to sound waves while hearing involves sound travel within effort. And speaking and listening are crucial linguistic skills, which is speaking being an asset as we are often judged more by our speech than our writing. Proceed tayo sa reading and writing. Reading is a third communication skills used for scanning specific information and active reading for meaning and absorption of information. Writing is a typical more formal than speaking and can be categorized into three styles: formal, informal, public, and casual. The formal style is used for writing letters to the government, official, speeches, or articles for newsletters and magazine, school assignment, long reports, and formal compositions. Ayan. Yung formal style, guys, makikita natin 'to sa mga letter. Kung na-try niyo na maggawa ng letter for the government or some authorized person. Actually lagi ko 'tong ginagawa sa simbahan kapag pinapa-create ako ng letter para dun sa pari namin, sa parish priest namin. Kapag meron akong kailangan ipa-approve na mga events or activity for the youth, ayan. And information public style is used in public communication, not private communication. We use it when we want to sound information, not formal. Ito yung kagaya na lang ng mga words or information na like sana all, yung mga ganon, ganong words, mga slang words. And also casual style is used in writing to writing to friends, to classmates, and in jointing down notes to family members. Siyempre, kailangan mo maging casual. Dito na ginagamit natin yung mga words na opo, oo, yung mga ganyan. Yung pagsang-ayon, ganun. Barriers to effective communication. Effective communication between instructors and students requires understanding barriers, developing communication skills, and understanding that it's a two-way process. The ultimate measure of successful communication is achieving desired result. And lack of common experience, word transfer meaning like bricks, but experience with the object or concept in necessary for the listener to understand the intended message. And lastly, confusion between the symbol and the symbolized object. Language contain words that represent different things to different people, leading to confusion between symbols and objects. People sometimes fail to distinguish between words and their connotation. Pa-scroll po. Ano ba 'to? Overuse of abstract. Abstractions are general, unspecific word that refers to idea that cannot be directly experienced or visualized, unlike concrete terms that relate directly to experience and object. Interference. Effective communication barriers are typically within the sender control, but interference comes from internal factors like physiological, psychological, and environmental factor which the sender must consider. Here's the benefit of effective communication. First is rewarding and harmonious relationship with others. Second is easily build rapport with client, customers, friends, new acquaintance, and third is getting what you want. Fourth is more time for yourself and others. Lastly is satisfaction and success in life. Failing to communicate effectively. It is often our failure to communicate effectively that leads to. First is professional setbacks. Second is personal disappointment. Third is breakdown of important relationships. And fourth is wasting energy and time on frustration and dramas. Lastly is not reaching our full potential. That's all. Thank you. For now, we're grateful for your open ears and open minds. Thank you for listening. Your time and attention are truly appreciated. Thank you guys. Bye bye.